Good morning to one and all. I am R.V. Kiran, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Chevrolet Engineering College. Today in this class, we are going to discuss about the remaining part of the reinforcements. So this is the second part for the last lecture. So we have already discussed about the reinforcements in the last class, and the remaining section have been explained in this class. So this is my 13th class regarding to the subject advanced materials. Yesterday we have seen about the matrix system and the fibers. So different types of matrix system and different types of fibers. And next, going to the matrix system, there are two types of matrices, thermoplastic and thermosetting matrices regarding to the fibers. So the functions and requirements. So what are the functions and requirements of a matrix in a reinforcement? So collaborating with the matrix, what is the functions of a reinforcement and requirements of a matrix. Next we have seen about the other reinforcements. What are the other reinforcements with the high performance reinforcement test? First one is the glass beads, asbestos. Next one is the carbon fibers, aramids, UHMWPE, stainless steel fibers, which is in the short form. So we can use the different forms of stainless steel fibers also, short, medium and long fibers. So the short stainless steel fibers are used in the less buildup in the viscosity connective applications. So these are all the other reinforcements. Next, what are the functions and requirements of a fibers? So generally the functions of the fibers is used to strong and stiff relative to the matrix. Next, they are inherently stronger than the bulk form of a material. Next, there are some flaws because of its smaller diameter. Next, engineering properties of composites are derived with the physical and mechanical properties of fiber, that is fiber length, fiber orientation and fiber volume fraction. So these are all the different type functions and requirements. Next, going to the graphical structure of the stiffness, strength and impact test. The fiber length have been considered with the normal properties of a material. So in the seeing the different graphs of stiffness, strength and impact over the material of the fibers. Next, this is the volume fraction of the filler in the reinforcement, which increases in the stiffness. So by increasing the stiffness property, what is the volume fraction of the filler? So next we are going to see the properties of composites here. So first property is the light in weight property. So generally composites have offered a variety of properties in which the main property is the greater strength to weight ratio that most of the non-reinforced plastics and many metals. Next, second one is the dimensional stability. So in the dimensional stability, it can maintain the critical tolerances required for the most demanding applications. So different tolerances have been used in the design a product. So you have seen it in the metrology subject. So there are different types of tolerances. So different types of designs in the industry for various different processes, various different purposes also. So the critical tolerances are required for the most demanding applications only. Next, in the dimensional stability, the second one is the meet the most stringent material stiffness and dimensional tolerances, weight and cost ratio in many applications. in many applications. So there are different stringest material stiffness, dimension tolerances, weight and cost criteria. So the cost may be little bit more than the other pure metals, but the inherent properties of the material may less the cost criteria. Next one is the corrosion resistance. So in the corrosion resistance, the composite materials do not rust in any kind of situations or any kind of temperatures and pressures. Next, resistance to the organic chemicals. So these corrosion resistance of composite materials had greater resistance to the organic chemicals also. So no chemical compositions have added in the manufacturing of different process in the composite materials. Next one, it can be formulated to withstand strong acidic and basic conditions. So these composite materials can also be formulated to withstand strong acidic and basic conditions. So these are the general properties. And next one is the high strength. So generally these properties of composites have excellent strength weight properties. By weight, composites surpass the tensile strength of iron, stainless steels and carbon. So by the weight to strength to weight property, composites have the high tensile strength over iron, stainless steel and carbon. Next one, many composites are equal or exceed the flexural strength and impact resistance of the steels. So by using the high strength property, many composites can exceed the flexural strength and impact resistance of the stainless steels. So this is the high strength property. Next, coming to the electrical resistance property, these electrical resistance is very poor conductors of electricity, so that it cannot pass the electric current through it. Next is it has high dielectric strength for applications in electrical and electronic industries. So these composites have high dielectric strength for applications in electrical and electronic industries. So these are very poor conductors of electricity. It can use in many applications. So there you can use it in the many applications. Next one is the resistance to minor impact. So in the resistance to minor impact, instead of deforming under minor impact as with steel, composites deflect and spring back to its original form. So when we are deforming the stainless steel or other metals, so it cannot change, it cannot form its original shape after deformation, but these composites can deflect its property and came back to its original shape. So it can come back to its original shape also. So that is the main advantage of the composite materials over the other metals. So this is a major property that composites can exist, and it can deflect and come back to its original shape and structure. So that is in the original form. Next property is the surface quality property. So these composites can achieve a variety of surface textures. So it can form a different types of new structures and new formats in its microstructure shape, and it has very smooth and glossy to a rough texture. So it can it obtains very smooth and glossy rough texture, that its surface has a very smooth surface finish. Next one is the part consolidation. So complex shapes can be easily molded without any material wastage. So these complex shapes. So complex shapes అంటే అమ్మా మనకి సో ఎక్కువ కర్వ్స్ కానీ లేకపోతే డయామీటర్స్ కానీ చేంజ్ ఉన్నాయి. సో ఇట్లాంటివన్నీ కూడా కాంప్లెక్స్ షేప్స్ కిందకి వస్తాయి. సో డిజైన్ పార్ట్ అనేది ఎక్కువగా ఉన్న షేప్స్ మొత్తాన్ని కూడా కాంప్లెక్స్ షేప్స్ కింద తీసుకోవచ్చు. సో దీస్ కాంప్లెక్స్ షేప్స్ క్యాన్ బి easily molded without any material wastage. So without any material wastage, we can use the complex shapes. Next one, part consolidation and close tolerances are plausible. So these part consolidation and close tolerances can be possible in these composites. Next, molded in color. So color can be added to the composite compound, which eliminates the need for a secondary painting process. So by adding some metals or some materials, we can specify the natural molded color. That is, color can be added to the complex composite compound directly, and which eliminates the need for a secondary painting process. So by applying the artificial painting process to the material, we can specify the composite compound directly into a molded color, so that color can be added to the composite compound, eliminates the need for a secondary painting process. Next one is the multifunctional. Multifunctional property. So these composites can satisfy several functional requirements, which is easier to design and fabricate functionally efficient products. So these composites have different types of functional properties. That is, when we have to take the less weight, we are going to add the aluminum material, metal, or when we are going to add the elastic property or some other, we are going to the fibers as well as polymer composites. So that is depend upon the functional requirements, and these composites are easier to design and fabricate functionally efficient products. That means functionally efficient products means what are the desired properties of our material and what are the design properties of this material, so we can fabricate it easily with the efficient products. So that is the main thing here in the functional multifunctional products. So these are the different types of properties which we have seen in the composites of reinforcements. Next one is the advantages. First one is the high strength and stiffness. Second one is the lightweight. We have already defined about the lightweight property and stiffness property. Third one is the design flexibility. So we can design any type of complex shapes in the composites by adding the different types of reinforcements. Next one is the dimensional stability. So by having the dimensional stability property, we can define the dimensions of a composite structure very sharply and accurately. Higher heat reflection temperature. So next one is the higher heat deflection temperature. So by having higher heat deflection temperature, it can fabricate at any type kind of temperatures. Next, higher dielectric strength, corrosion resistance, less finishing. So the object of the finished product is very good and the surface finish is very smooth in structure. So less finishing can be obtained in the high performance reinforcement. And last one is the moderate tooling cost. So moderate tooling cost means, so these materials are not as high as tooling cost compared to the metal matrix composites, but it is somewhat less than that the metal matrix composites and other composites. So these are the different types of advantages taken for the reinforcement structure. So high performance reinforcement, we have taken the different types of advantages here. Next one is the limitations. We can compare it to the disadvantages also. So higher processing temperatures and pressures. So by using the higher processing temperatures and pressure, the phase transformation can change from one phase to the other, and the properties of the material can also change. Next one is the machine wear. So the machine wear property is the limited property to the reinforcements when we are using the machines. So wear and tear important. So some wear have been limited in the machines also. So that is an advantage, a disadvantage. Next one is the lower impact strength. So the impact strength of the reinforcement structures have been very low. So it is also a disadvantage. Anisotropic properties and loss of transparency, finish, cost, and higher specific gravity. So these are all the different types of disadvantages which we have discussed in the earlier slides. So the surface finish of the reinforcements is somewhat rough than the pure composites, and the cost also somewhat higher than the pure composites. And next one, higher specific gravity. So it has high specific gravity compared to the other matrix composites. Next one, the main target of these composite manufacturing techniques in a reinforcement is, first one is the achieving a consistent product by controlling fiber thickness, fiber volume, and fiber directions. So these are the different types of consistent products which may have control the thickness of the fiber, and what is the volume of the fiber, and directions of the fiber, what are the different directions of the fiber. Next one is the minimizing void formation. Minimizing void formation means reducing the voids created by the different matrix system. So different types of material, when we are adding the different types of materials, so some voids can be formed in this reinforcement also, in this matrix also. So we are going to reduce this voids formation. Next one, reducing internal residual stresses. So by decreasing the internal residual stresses also, we are going to get a good composite manufacturing technique. Next one is the cheaper processing techniques. So these composites have defined very cheaper processing techniques compared to the other materials. So the processing techniques used for these composites are very cheap compared to the other processes. Next one, procedure. So selection of the components of the composite material is the first step. So what are the different types of components which we are going to add in the composite material, be it a metal or an alloy or any kind of material, that is natural wood, fibers, polymers, ceramics. So we can add any type of components there in a composite material. Next one is the selection of processing technique. So the processing, there are wide varieties of processing techniques used for the manufacturing of these composites. So selection of processing technique is a very large step and very critical step in moving the processing techniques of a composite. Next one is the post processing and tooling operations. So post processing and tooling operations are done by the end of these processing techniques. So these processing techniques have been obtained a variety type of components there. Next one is the high performance reinforcement. So these high performance reinforcement can be obtained with the continuous fibers and loading of the volume. Loading of the volume means complete the full volume by adding these fibers and other reinforcements. So these high performance reinforcement tests have been used by different kinds of reinforcement. First one is the fibers, next one is the whiskers, flakes and powder. So any type of reinforcement can be added in the high performance test according to the purpose of the reinforcement in the composite material. Be it continuous fibers or non-continuous fibers, short fibers, medium fibers or long fibers. So the volume can be filled with these fibers only. Next one is the low performance reinforcement. So there we are using the short fibers as the reinforcement and particulate reinforcing fillers. So fillers means these powder type particles we are using in the particulate reinforcing fillers. And last one is the volume loading. So by completing this volume loading, we can add the different types of structures there. So that is the basic difference between high performance reinforcement and low performance reinforcement. So in the high performance reinforcement, instead of short fibers or medium fibers, we are using the
అమ్మా
continuous.
అది కొత్తనావా ఎందుకంత నేను తిన్ను
We are using the continuous fibers instead of short fibers. So by using the continuous fibers, the process can be used continuously and the volume of the loading of the volume can be used by very continuous process. By using the short fibers, we are going to chop the fibers into different lengths. So different lengths can be cutted and the short fibers have been added, and by adding the short fibers we are also going to add the particulate reinforcing fillers also. So by filling these gaps in the volume, we are going to add these particulate reinforcing fillers. So that is the basic difference between high performance reinforcement and the low performance reinforcement. Next one is the mechanical strength of the reinforcement, high performance reinforcement. So these mechanical strength, it depends on the amount, type and arrangement of fibers. So depends on the amount. Amount means what is the percentage of reinforcement adding in the composite material. So be it be 5% or 10% or 15%. So we can add any kind of amount depending upon the purpose. So when we are going to do a research, we are adding different amounts of these reinforcements. So in the first one, we are going to add the 95 plus 5% reinforcements. So that is 95% matrix and 5% of the reinforcement. So that is the first type. So in the second type, we are going to add the 90% and 10% of reinforcements. So that is 90% of the matrix and 10% of the reinforcement. And third one, 85% of the matrix and 15% of the reinforcement. So this depends upon the purpose of the adding reinforcement and depending upon the type also. So type of reinforcement also we can add it. So when we are adding the different compositions. So when we are adding the copper with the aluminum, we cannot add greater than 10% of copper, because aluminum is lightweight in structure, because it has very less density. So by adding more copper to as a reinforcement to the aluminum, we are increasing the weight of the composite. So that is why the limitations of the reinforcements have been adjusted here, so classified here. Third one is the arrangement of fibers. So we have already seen in the earlier classes that arrangement of fibers. So arrangement means continuous or discontinuous, so randomly oriented, or continuously, or uh, aligned structure. So that is aligned parallelly or perpendicularly. So that is the arrangement of fibers. Next one, chemical, electrical and thermal properties. So these chemical, electrical and thermal properties depends on the choice of matrix only. So by depending on the choice of matrix, formulation and other additives, we can add the chemical, electrical and thermal properties. So this depends on the choice of matrix, formulation. Formulation means the chemical property added to the material. So when we are going to define a reinforcement in the composite, we are going to see the whether it can mix or it can reflect the composite material. So then there we have adding the catalyst there. So by adding the catalyst, there is a good bonding between the matrix and reinforcement phase. So that is the main formulation there. And adding other additives also. So other additives means minor additives has been added as the reinforcements. That is silicon carbide, magnesium, manganese. So these are all the minor additives of the composites. Next, arrangement of fibers. So these arrangement of fibers have been arranged in three types. First one is the unidirectional way, second one is the bidirectional, third one is the multi-directional way. So in the unidirectional, 80% of the composite can be loaded by weight possible continuous pultrusion process. So this continuous pultrusion is a process of manufacturing these composite materials. So manufacturing of these fibers on their reinforcements can be added by the continuous pultrusion process, and 80% can be loaded by weight possible. So that is in the unidirectional reinforcement. Second one is the bidirectional. So in the bidirectional, 75% can be loading by weight is possible. So 75% can be loaded. Then the manufacturing process can be that can be used in the bidirectional is hand layup. So hand layup is the process used in the bidirectional process. Third one is the multi-directional. So 10 to 50% of the loading by weight possible. So in the multi-directional, 10 to 50% only can be loaded by the weight possible. So the different types of manufacturing process used in these multi-directional are compression and injection molding systems. Next one is the spray layup, preform and pressure bags. So these are the different kinds of manufacturing process. We are going to manufacture a reinforcement fiber in the multi-directional way. So these are the different types of process. So these pressure bag manufacturing method can also be called as autoclave method also. So we can see it in the third unit of this subject in the syllabus. So in the third unit, we are going to discuss about all the manufacturing process. all the manufacturing elements of the reinforcements here. So these are the different kinds of arrangement of fibers in the unidirectional way, bidirectional way, and multi-directional way. Uni means one, only one direction. Bidirectional means two types of directions have been added, which means we are taking an example. Unidirectional means within only one axis only, that is x-axis only. Bidirectional means we are going to see it in the two axis, that is x-axis as well as y-axis, or you can use it in the y-axis, z-axis, or z-axis and x-axis. So in three axis you can see different types of directional views here. And last one is the multi-directional way. In the multi-directional we can use all the three-dimensional structures here, that is x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. So we can see it in the three types of dimensional systems here. So that is the basic difference between the arrangement fibers in the uni, bi and multi-directional arrangements. So these are the properties and different types of reinforcements, and what are the arrangement of fibers. So what are the material properties, mechanical and other different properties of these reinforcements. So with this we had completed the first unit. So first unit in your syllabus of advanced materials. In the next class, from the next class we are going to discuss the second unit. We are going to discuss the second unit in your syllabus. Thank you. Any doubts?